Let me introduce TechSpace Today, sir. TechSpace Today, a leading textile and apparel media platform focused on sustainability, precision, automation, circularity, and energy in the textile and apparel industry globally. So, through our platform, we aim to highlight and promote sustainability, circularity in between textile to textile, circularity, or whatever it is, and innovation, technologies, next generation technologies, and ideas shaping the future of textile, global textile, and our readership, viewership, including globally, policymakers, manufacturers, industry owners, leaders, and technology providers from across the world, sir. So today we will discussing your company success initiatives, sustainability, and sustainable materials that you have produced. Let's begin by exploring your journey and the vision behind SaXcell, sir. So I would like to ask one question that you have worked across research, entrepreneurship, and sustainable material innovation through your company SaXcell. So what inspired your journey, circular textile, and how did that path eventually lead to founding SaXcell?
Thank you, Mithun, for arranging this interview and inviting me to speak on a very important topic of circularity, circular economy, textile to textile recycling. Let me introduce myself. My name is Pramod Agrawal. I was born and brought up in India. I came to Netherlands to do my PhD research in the area of green chemistry, where we were exploring how we can use enzymes, greener solutions for cotton scouring application. It was a European Union project. It was then somewhere in early years of 2000 till 2005. And after that, that gives me my first association with textile industry as well as the green chemistry. After that, I have conducted, let's say, the digital printing for adding functionality to textile materials through digital printing technology for value addition, because that was the focus of Europe. After that, I've done the technology management. And since very beginning, it was very clear to me that I need to work in the space of sustainability, because that's what we have to move forward, because the chemical processes are very environmental unfriendly. And when it comes to textile, it's even more, because the entire population wear textile material, and the production, processing, dyeing, garmenting, supply chains are very, very inefficient, and this creates a huge environmental problem. The idea of SaXcell came somewhere very early in 2011. And since then, we started working together with a couple of my colleagues at Saxion University of Applied Science. So if you look at the name SaXcell, Sax is from Saxion University, cell is from cellulose. And then since the SaXcell was born in Saxion University of Applied Sciences here in Netherlands, we kept the name SaXcell. And in 2015, the company got formally registered, and around 2020 we got our first investor, and right now we have 3 Turkish investors and 2 Dutch investors. These are the companies, basically. That means we have a complete supply chain ourselves, from sorting, collection, feedstock, spinning, knitting, and even marketing. So, and my association with SaXcell was always from day one. And what you also see that the first generation entrepreneurs who started journey with me, they were more senior to me, now at the age of retirement. So it's also very natural that person like me takes it over. And since November last year, I have taken a role as a CEO of a company, and now I'm leading it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. The name SaXcell, where it comes from, is very interesting, sir. So this is very fascinating. So my next question is, sir, SaXcell has developed a breakthrough process that converts cotton textile waste into a regenerated cellulose fiber. So could you please explain how this technology actually works and how it contributes to building a circular textile, sir? So as we know that post-consumer waste is critical to recycling. So how your technology actually works, sir?
Let me explain it in a way. The starting product for us is a waste textile. If I need to be more specific, waste textile has to be cotton rich, because it's a cellulose what we want to produce at the end. And but that having said that, we can handle both industrial waste as well as post-consumer waste in our processes. The only requirement is it has to have a very high concentration of cellulose. We can though handle polyester impurities. If the waste is polycotton, we can also handle that in our process. But then we do not recycle polyester part, so that's a loss. So if you start with, let's say, 90% cotton and 10% polyester, and then you recycle it, you lose 10% of polyester. So you'll only get 90 kilo of cotton. And then
Yeah.
when you start with, so it's always good to start with as high cotton percentage as possible. In our process, we can also handle multiple type of dyes like reactive dyes, fat dyes. It's no problem. Right now, our focus is on both post-industrial and post-consumer. It's not a problem. And the plant which we are starting now in Enschede, which I will come to that later, where we would also use the post-consumer laundry waste, especially towels, bed sheets, because they are already white in color, they are almost 100% cotton, and they've already been used very thoroughly in their lifetime. So that, yeah, it's much easy to recycle.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Next question, sir. That the textile industry is one of the biggest contributor to the textile environmental pollution globally. So, what are the biggest challenges in scaling fiber to fiber recycling technologies as SaXcell do, and how is your company?
Mithun, this is very important question, and we have to understand the basics behind it. Let's start with cotton. Cotton
Yeah.
production, first of all, doesn't happen throughout the world. It happens only certain areas and certain pockets. There are a lot of studies how much water you need to produce 1 kilo of cotton in the fields. You can divide water into two parts. Let's say the rainwater or the green water, and the blue water which you actually use it for irrigation. The water that comes from the sky, you don't have to count because that will come anyway if there is on the ground crop or no crop, basically. So if you mix both the green water and the blue water, typically you need somewhere around 8,000 liter to 22,000 liters of water per kg of cotton. But you only say blue water as a technology, as a irrigation, then you still need, depend on where the plantation of the cotton crop is, close to 2,000 liters of water per kg of cotton production. It's a huge amount of water resources is necessary. There are some studies which says that around 10% of the global pesticide, which is also not good for the ground, but also not for the people's health. Some even studies says 20%, but let's say very orthodox 10% of the world's pesticide is sprinkled on the cotton. So that's also not very good. And you probably heard, being our neighbor in Bangladesh, that there are a lot of suicides in India, especially also because of the cotton crop. Now, what's also happening is because as the population is growing, there is more and more land is getting less and less available. That means there are more and more villages are growing, the cities are growing. And that means the production capacity, if you notice in last 10 years, is more or less stagnated. It's somewhere between 24 million ton to 26 million ton every year. What you see till 2000, cotton and polyester were more or less identical, equal. And now polyester is close to 80 plus million ton production, and cotton is really only still 24 to 26 million ton. Having said that, we need to move to an alternative technology. The alternative technology so far was very much a viscose. But for that, you need to cut wood trees. You need to use your chemical intensive process, which is sulfide based. It still require huge amount of water, like up to based on whether the plant is sustainable or not sustainable, anywhere from 200 to 600 liters per kg. And what you also notice, if you notice, there are some couple of plants which shut down because they do not meet the sustainability requirement. Now, that leads to most recent commercially available technology, which is lyocell. It's a solvent-based technology like NMMO, where you recycle and reuse up to 99.85% of solvent completely. You need very less amount of water. It's a very green processes. SaXcell is very unique in that sense. So we are a replacement not only for cotton, but we are also a replacement for man-made fiber such as viscose. But there are also lyocell products in the market that starts with a wood pulp. That means they still need to cut wood for that. We go beyond that. So we say, okay, we use the best process, which is lyocell. And then we also don't use wood. We use the post-consumer textile waste. In this space, we think that we are probably the only one in the world which offers our product at a commercial scale. And what happens is people confuse the man-made cellulose fiber domain with viscose, wood lyocell, and everyone talk about textile to textile recycling, but most of them are polyester recycling process. When people talk about textile to textile recycling, but they offer their pulp to viscose process, not to lyocell process. So if you look at replacing wood with, let's say, textile waste, and then instead of using viscose, you use lyocell, this combination, we are probably the only one in the world which is offering a solution at a commercial level. And that makes SaXcell very, very unique. One of the reason of our success is we have grown very slowly. I told you this idea started somewhere in early 2011. Now we are almost 15 years ahead in our processes. We took very step by step approach to sort of unravel the mystery. A lot of other companies you see on the contrary, which didn't have a lot of success in the market or success at the beginning but later failed, they try to scale up too quickly in the market and too fast in production. But we never say that we will grow too fast. We say we will mature our technology, we'll make a very robust technology and very unique technology in that sense. And that makes SaXcell a uniquely positioned, truly circular textile to textile fiber chemical recycling solution for cotton or cellulose.
That's great, sir. I have to say, what you have done yet, absolutely great. So,
Thank
sir, for circular transformation, collaboration is like to the backbone of circular transformation. So, Saxel works with partners, as you said, you have four or more than investors across textile value chain, from waste collection to fiber production and brand collaboration. How important are partnerships in accelerating sustainable innovation in textiles?
There are multiple aspects of it. If you look at the complete supply chain, SaXcell is actually converting textile waste into pulp. Only this one step. The pulp that is suitable for lyocell wet spinning process for making the fiber. The fiber making part happens in close collaboration with Birla Cellulose in India because we don't produce fiber ourselves. But still that fiber is called SaXcell fiber because they are exclusively producing this fiber using SaXcell technology with us, basically. Number one, once we produce fiber, Mithun, we match that fiber performance on all the criteria where standard lyocell, viscose, cotton, like on elongation, moisture, the strength and those sort of things. But then we work with our partners, for example, in the supply chain in front, like yarn makers, weavers or knitters, dyers, the garment producers, and so on. But sometimes we also reach directly to brands, and then brands use their own vertically integrated supply chain to use our fiber. But in that process, because it's a new fiber entering in that product formation, we work with them very closely for making the product development as a demo product or demo sample where they evaluate in its performance before actually producing it in large scale. Having said that, this is the forward part, but we also look back in the backside. That means how our feedstock is coming. Is our feedstock is consistent? Is our feedstock will not make any problem in the pulp making process? That means we go back and collaborate with the partners in a back end, how the collection is happening, how the sorting is happening. We are not directly involved in that process, but we are aware about the process. So we ensure that we have a smooth flow of our right feedstock available for us. And our R&D focus on both aspects. One is how we can expand that we can handle more and more complex feedstock to start with. And this side, we start to elaborate that how our product can go in a different sectors. So right now our focus is, for example, home textile, because then you can bring more volume there, like towels, bedsheet, wardrobe, those sort of things. But also denim, for example, which is also major where cotton is required. And the third sector is apparel. So we work now with all the partners and all the brands in a supply chain. And the most important thing we need right now, Mithun, is awareness that SaXcell exists, and SaXcell is very unique and truly sustainable and circular product. It is different from everyone who keep claiming about it, but they are truly viscose based process or wood based process and so on and so on. And that is what we need about brand awareness, so we can push this product and create demand for such products in the market.
Okay, sir. As you told, the visibility, the awareness, these type of things we have done from our side. So
Okay.
we increase the visibility, we increase the awareness that the world has been polluted day by day. So we need to think about sustainability, we need to think about recycling. So as you said, the awareness is more important by collaboration or brand awareness. So we will do that, sir. So my next question is, if we're looking at to the next some decades, how do you see the role of regenerated fibers and circular materials shaping the future of global textile and fashion industry?
It's a very important question, Mithun. So I would come back to numbers again. I told
Okay.
you by around 2020, cotton and polyester were more or less same quantity, 50-50, in the range of around 25 to 20, 30 million tons per year. And that time, the man-made cellulose fiber, which is a combination of viscose, lyocell, all sort of different fibers, were around 4 million ton total. Now this volume of man-made cellulose fiber, where lyocell is a part of, has grown to close to 8.4 to 9 million tons per year. And in next 5 years, the man-made cellulose market will grow minimum 11 million ton. But what's happening in that 11 million ton market, the lyocell part is very, very small and the viscose part is very, very large. But now we all know that viscose is not sustainable. First of all, as a process, it's not sustainable, or also as a feedstock, like a wood pulp, is not sustainable. So the lyocell has all the potential to grow also within that domain. And viscose will eventually, we anticipate, should go down. Number one. Number two is there would be one more factor. You probably know that the recent global geopolitical turmoil, also the Hormuz,
Yeah.
has made a huge strain on polyester, because it made polyester is a synthetic polymer also made out of the fossil fuel and the crude oil, and the polyester prices started going up because it was
Yeah.
very, very cheap fiber available. So these companies would also move towards the sustainable fiber, has to move toward the sustainable fiber initiative. And the third thing about polyester, for which Europe is getting very, very interested and getting cautious, is the microplastic issue, because a lot of synthetic fibers, especially polyester, has a microplastic issue. That means we have to move towards, again, to more cellulosic fiber. So if we have to move towards cellulosic fiber, cotton is not a solution. Cotton, we cannot grow further. Viscose was an alternative, but we can't keep cutting trees.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's also very unsustainable process. So we have to work on recycling of textile to textile waste through chemical recycling process to make a high value product. Maybe I wanted to add one more very important thing, Mithun, here. There is something called mechanical recycling exists in lots of countries, including probably in Bangladesh, but also in different part of the world, where you unravel the piece of textile, you make the fiber out of it, you make a yarn out of it, and then you integrate into the new product. It's also textile to textile recycling, but from a mechanical point of view. But mechanical recycling based yarns, you cannot integrate in a fine clothing. You can integrate it, but maybe 10% and 15%, and after that the quality start deteriorating it. You can integrate that in towels and bed sheets little bit and so on. So there is a limitation to integrate the mechanical recycling process. Also, when the feedstock is too small fibers, you cannot make yarns through mechanical recycling. So all the textile which cannot be used in mechanical recycling can then be used through a SaXcell like process, because eventually you're digesting it, making a pulp out of it. So it's very, very easy for us. So we don't want to compete with them, but we want to see the mechanical recycling as a complementary process to us. So these are all the factors which I have tried to give you. Is we are very optimistic and very positive about the future of SaXcell, a true circular solution that comes from West Textile, irrespective of post-consumer, post-industrial. The textile waste, which is cotton, is the textile waste which is not suitable for mechanical recycling, has a potential to replace viscose, which is wood based, even lyocell, which is wood based, and cotton for sure, because cotton is also not very sustainable in that regard. That's how we position it, and that's what we are very confident about it. It's a matter of creating awareness about.
Okay, thank you, sir. We also wish the more success of SaXcell. So, as you know, Bangladesh is one of the world's largest textile and garment manufacturing hub. So, what opportunities do you see for collaboration between companies like your company SaXcell and Bangladesh's textile industry to produce more and to promote more circularity and sustainable production?
First of all, we already have one Bangladeshi shareholder
Wow, wow.
in our Saxel board. Is a
Can
Netherlands
you
based.
can you mention the company name, sir? Can you mention the company?
It's Bandhan Befe, Bandhan Beefy, and the owner is Mr. Aprul Hussain, and his son is Naeem, They are a Dutch entrepreneur here settled in the Netherlands for a long time. He comes from Bangladesh. I don't know exactly the place. And they found this very, very interesting. As a matter of fact, last year we also got a visit of a Bangladesh group of industries. They visited us as a part of a circular textile initiative, which was organized by the Bangladesh embassy in Den Haag, The Hague, basically. So we are in very much in touch with. We also been ourselves in the Invest Bangladesh platform, which happened in Amsterdam or in Netherlands last year. So we are in, let's say, we try to go to that market as much as possible. But having said that, I don't think they are fully yet aware about what I have said. That fine different, the details is
Yes,
in devil, as you could call it. That means they see, oh, we are a MMCF, the man-made cellulose fiber. Yes, but we are not from wood. We are not viscose. That sort of things makes it very. So if I'll answer your question, I see tremendous potential because Bangladesh itself does not produce cotton, isn't it? That means
yes,
on a
yes,
raw material source, Bangladesh is dependent on countries like India and others. And that's not
yes,
so good for independence, basically. That means there is a huge scope for Bangladesh to set up their own pulp production plant using the local waste there. And I see a huge potential for that. We could set up a pulp plant in a capacity of 10,000 to 30,000 tons per year. It's a huge amount, basically, which can then be converted into a fiber. And then a Bangladesh textile industry can take uptake of those fibers to export or also use it domestically. The positive push you see is a lot of European legislations which are coming up now, especially
yes, yes.
DPP, Digital Product
ERP.
Passport is coming, the ESPR regulations are coming, eco design regulations are coming. And sooner or later, maybe it's a matter of next year, 27 or 28, the recycle content as a requirement would also come, basically. And when you have this sort of requirement, you have to use a recycled material into your exported product. And mechanical recycling based fiber has a limitation. So you would need that. Anyway, looking at the demand of the textile industry in Bangladesh, I think the pulp production plant is a great opportunity for you in Bangladesh, but also means we would like to work with the top players in Bangladesh, especially in the home textile, like a bed sheet and towels, but denim and also apparel where SaXcell product can go into it. That having said that, Mithun, we would be very happy to see a potential investor opportunity to collaborate with us, to sit down with us here in Netherlands in our board, so that the decision also made in that direction, basically. So because textile supply chains are very global in nature, and without
Yeah.
Bangladesh playing a role, it cannot be completed because Bangladesh is very front runner in this regard. But you also see that new players are emerging, like Vietnam is emerging very much. Turkey was always playing a huge role in this regard. So that's what we are very much looking for. So I think the environmental push, the European legislation, and the demand for raw material within Bangladesh can be a perfect combination, basically, to make this happen and to move forward.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So there are a lot of scope to work in Bangladesh, sir.
Dove,
Uh, yes.
without a doubt.
So,
Also, maybe to add here, Bangladesh is one of the largest producer of garments, So you
yeah, yeah.
also have a lot of post-industrial waste, basically, which
Yes.
is uniform in size. And that can be also used for such processes very much without it.
Yes. Okay. So next question is, sir, why should a fashion brand choose success over conventional cotton or other recycled fibers? How is Succel fiber different from other man-made cellulosic fibers, such as bias, viscose, and lyocell?
Partly I have answered that
Yes, 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 yes,
question,
yes, yes,
but
yes,
also to give you more specific numbers, Saxel is different on three levels. Technologically, it shows that difficult textile waste, which is not suitable for any process, like a mechanical recycling, can be recycled at a very high quality cellulose fiber. Ecologically, I have shown that instead of 2000, 4000 liters of cotton to 600 liters with viscose process, you only need 10 to 40 liters of water for lyocell process. You don't need any land. For like cotton, also for viscose, you need to still need a forest where you cut trees, but for lyocell process, you don't need it. The CO2 impact is very less. Land use is almost not there. Water use is 99% is reduced, but also the quality of the product is very, very high. Economically, we show that it opens the new circular raw material stream as a feedstock, literally urban mining. That means all the feedstock which is low quality product, you're not recycling, you're actually upcycling, basically in that sense. So it has technologically, economically, and ecologically different from all other circular, cotton based product or cellulose product in that sense.
So many textile recycling initiatives struggle to scale up, So there are commercial challenges. So what makes success model resilient, sir? What is the model of success, sir,
So
to
SaXcell
scaling up?
model, yeah. So as I said, we never want to scale up too quick and too fast. That is very important. So what we are
As you
doing,
said before, as you
yeah.
said before.
But that having said that, now we are setting up our own demonstration plant or small scale industrial plant here in Netherlands, east part of Netherlands in Enschede, which has a maximum capacity of 1,500 tons. With also little investment, can go to 3,000 ton capacity here. The such plant has three purpose. One is to demonstrate to people that we can run our plant at this scale. That means textile waste to pulp production. The second is to also keep making innovation there to make it more refined and more fine-tuned. And the third one is we also never want to scale up too much at once. So it's an in-between step for us, basically, from pilot to a semi-industrial scale. In the future, as I said, Mithun, we would like to set up the pulp production plant around the world on a licensing model. So that's what I was proposing. If we set up such a plant in Bangladesh, 1, 2, 3, 4, then we will give a turnkey solution. That means we will also give the complete machinery, complete support. We install it. We actually also work with you to set up requirement for the feedstock so that you start producing pulp locally. So we will not invest ourselves, but we'll work on a licensing model where we'll take a little fee of running that plant for you in those countries or handing over that sort of technology to you in that country. And so instead of importing the world waste to us and making a pulp here, we say, let's go with our technology wherever such raw material and feedstock is available. That's our business model. So we would like to set up such plant. And we definitely see countries like Bangladesh as a very important player where such plant could be set. We see Turkey as a very important partner where such plant could be set. And you never know, maybe also Egypt or maybe India, maybe Bangladesh.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, throughout the world, wherever there are waste material is available, such plant could come on a licensing basic technology with a 10,000 to 30,000 ton capacity. So then the local fiber production would be locally used and consumed for the brand who are exporting globally. It makes also sense that those technologies are, the fibers are locally produced in those countries. And that's our actual offer. And that's actually our business model to license this in a different part of the world with a strong focus on Bangladesh. And that's why Bangladesh is very, very important for us.
So, sir, last question is, what kind of partners are you currently looking for?
We are looking to build our supply chain, Mithun. So we want to work with spinners. We want to work with kneaders. We want to work with a dye house. We want to work with someone who want to set up a hub for SaXcell in Bangladesh. They say, okay, we want to represent you in Bangladesh and we'll promote you there. We'll also work with them. We also want to work with brands who want to say that we want to use your fibers in the supply chain. We need everyone. And what we are doing now, we are setting up a supply chain in a Far East where Bangladesh is really important for our processes there, apart from India. So these two countries are very, very important in that regard. So I think right now we are already in a step to set up our hub in India. Likewise, we also wanted to set up our hub in Bangladesh, and we want to work with all the actors in the supply chain from spinner, weaver, kneader, dyers, and everything.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Before we wrap up, I would love to briefly touch on something from a broader industry perspective. So, at TechSpace today, we actively work with global innovators, manufacturer leaders, brands, and technology providers to highlight sustainability and impactful solution in sustainability, circularity, digitalization, or advanced materials. So we have seen that strong storytelling and industry visibility often play a key role in accelerating market adoption, which can help by brand awareness in the peoples, From your perspective, how important is industry media like TechSpace today and knowledge platforms in supporting companies like SaXcell in reaching the right partners and markets?
I think companies like you, Text Media, TechSpace, is really the one who is bridging the knowledge gap. Sometimes we speak too difficult language and too technical language. We only think
Yeah,
about
yeah,
us, and
yeah,
you are
yeah,
the one who translate what is how the people pursue that. So you speak the language of the local people. You speak the language of the spinners, weavers, knitters, and the actors in the supply chain and the brands who understand it. So you are the truly one who is helping us to bring our message very clearly and vividly, but also translating what we are offering and what Bangladesh is looking for. So you can use that and conversion into this. And I think actors like you can play a big role also to bring SaXcell company like SaXcell to right partners, including collaborators, including representatives, including investors, and so on. And I think you are the genuinely the people who are spreading the sustainability in a large way.
yeah. So, sir, it's aligned closely with we are trying to do as a media platform. Sir, take your time a little bit. So, sir, we also regularly doing Recycle. Recycle is a platform made by TechSpace today. Is like a webinar where we invited guests from different stakeholders, different industries related on sustainability, research, circularity, and digitalization. Digitalization means automation, precision, digital printing, and we are doing it regular basis on bi-monthly. So where the guests are discussing the current issues, current problems, and solutions. What will be the solution? It might be technological or something others. So we are doing that, and we would love to invite you one of our recycle episode. We are currently doing number 3 episode. So whenever we do sustainability related webinar, we would love to take you as a guest in our webinar, sir. So if you are would be interested, sir. So we will contact you later on for the webinar where many panelists will be there and discussing the and one topic or issues. So thank you so much, sir. And we are doing, so we are actually promoting sustainability, which is a dedicated segment of our media. So is there any possibilities collaboration between SaXcell and Texas Media as we do printed magazine where there is scope to promote your product on back cover, front cover, main parts, or sustainability segment parts by advertorial. The printed magazine we distributed a manufacturer, brand, policymaker in existing markets in Bangladesh. And e-magazine, same size and same thing. We produced, we provide or released e-magazine for the global audience. Apart from this, we send a newsletter on weekly. There is dedicated newsletter, special newsletter, and also a special edition of our magazine. Apart from this, we doing social media advertorial throughout the year, throughout the month, what you want. There is a large scope to promote your product and your service solutions all over the world. So, is there any collaboration opportunities between SaXcell and TechSpace today, sir?
Mithun, thank you very much. I would love to be part of any bi-monthly episode of
Yeah,
which you said. It's no problem. Having said that, when it comes to promotion and probably you're talking about some paid collaboration for
yeah.
advertisement and so on, I definitely need to bring and discuss this with my board because this is part of a strategic
Yeah, yeah,
decisions
yeah. Of course, sir, of
and so
course.
on. And right now, what is very difficult for us, Mithun, and you have to understand that, first of all, we are still a startup in many sense because
Yeah.
very young company. And second is we are selling something like a Intel Inside, it's a chip which is part of the computer that runs the computer faster. So SaXcell is a fiber that would be part of the garment basically, but actually the one who owns the garment is the brands, and they will
Yeah.
not use 100% SaXcell. They will mix SaXcell with other cotton or other polyester
Yeah,
or other materials. So what comes out is a mixed product basically.
yeah,
So what is, and that's one of the difficulty for us, that what we sell, actually we sell a solution. We are not even selling the fiber, is also produced through our partner. The what we make, which is very very unique, is a pulp, and that's very difficult to communicate to the market. Though it's a basis of it, it's like you make a naan and then you need atta for that, something like that. That's what we are doing it. So we would definitely discuss it. Let's also please send me your proposal anyway if you have something by email.
Yes, yes,
Then
we
I can
have.
discuss it and then we'll see what we can do there. Yeah.
Yes. As you told, the cost is purely on operation cost. So as we have a design team and others operation team, so this is very basic paid for the accelerating the work, sir. So could you please connect with your marketing or branding team for
Yeah,
further?
you can send me an email or I will send you an marketing and branding person, the sales lady who's working towards expanding our sales operations in Bangladesh. I will
Yeah, yeah,
connect with you.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. I will give you the quotation or others file of branding or something, as I told. So that's a really insightful talk with you, sir. It's a great, great, great feels to talk with you, sir. And as I textile engineer and I have completed my BSc in textile engineering, so I enjoyed a lot, sir. I learned a lot of technological things on recycling or whatever you said, sir. So thank you so much, sir, and for sharing your valuable insights and for giving a deeper understanding of circular textile innovation, the role of SaXcell is playing in shaping a more sustainable future. So thank you to you, sir. Anything you would love to say to our audience, sir?
Yeah. So Mithun, thank you very much. I think you have asked very good questions and I tried to give as much detail as possible, but of course there is always something to add. As I said, SaXcell is working towards providing solution. So we work with front end, also with all the actors in the supply chains from yarn makers, weaver, knitters, brands, and the garment producer, but also backside with all the sorters, collectors to make sure that our feedstock is right. That means we do offer a solution to the end master. Having said that, we have now set up a dedicated quality departments within SaXcell that will work the quality at the fiber level, yarn level, and the fabric level or the garment level. That means at each level, we would intercept and interact with our partners there, and we'll supply that information. And the second thing which we also would like to provide in coming time with all the sustainability compliance the brands required, because you see that Europe is going more and more related to sustainability compliance. A lot of garment making companies, they don't know how to deal with DPP, they don't know how to deal with ECS reporting, they don't know how to handle the LCA part, they don't know how to handle all those sort of sustainability package, the recycling content certificates and those sort of things. So what we can do as a SaXcell is, when you're working with SaXcell fiber in your product or process, we could also support you all your sustainability related requirement thing. So then we are offering a complete package to an end customer and brand that guys, don't worry about your sustainability requirement, don't worry about your product development, don't worry about your performance level at a quality, and we would do everything together as much as possible. We'll support that. So I think we're really broadening our services because we really need to bring this product to the market and to the masses. Basically, we already see the large adaptation, some good success stories in Europe. But if we need to move to masses and we need to produce something in bulk, then we have to come ourselves to countries like Bangladesh. We have no option, basically, and we should do that more and more. And it can only be possible with people like you who could help us to create awareness about it. Thank you.
Okay, sir. So if you come to Bangladesh, please let me know. We will see. We'll
Where,
meet.
where you are located, Mithun? Are you in Dhaka or you?
Yeah, 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 sir. Yeah, yeah. Dhaka, Dhaka.
We were planning to visit somewhere in May or June
Oh, oh,
with
yeah.
our Bangladeshi colleague who's
Please
here,
let me know, sir. Please
Mr.
let
April,
me know.
with our Turkish partner. So in that sense, we would love to, when we come there, I think we'll definitely connect with you all.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so
Please.
much. And
Yeah.
was nice interacting with you and nice talking to you.